Oh Lord, this is Kent Kruger Biological Channel. During my little smoke break and munch break, I actually listened to the Beatles' praise of the USSR. What a bunch of commie, fag, loser motherfuckers, which all of you still worship. Not all of you, but most of you still worship. I'm going to come back, but right now I want to kind of jump ahead. This is Tortured One Man Cell number 3, Kent Kruger. Many months passed. As I told you before, I told my new attorney, Bruno Shimek, to go get my house keys from my mother because, based on what Detective Rutledge had said, who didn't even bother to listen to that entire box of recordings, that they had probably stashed the evidence back in my house, which is the best place to put it, right? Where's the best place to stash evidence other than the scene of the crime? And Bruno got my keys from my mom and went out to my place, and I told him exactly what the new tape looked like, because I decided to use at that time a new tape. It was the Sony 90-minute. It was black and purple, etc. It's real easy to identify out of my box of tapes. And I have, right behind me, I have plenty of boxes of tapes, and even the storage boxes of tapes, which go way back. And you can't fuck with analog. If you fuck with analog, it will always show an oscilloscope blip if you try to cut the tape or anything else. Digital is bullshit. Analog is the best for proving the truth. Anyway, I'm going to try to, in the next 13 minutes, tell you about one of the most glorious days of my life. Two of the most glorious days of my life. I'm going to skip ahead. I'll come back later. After months of torture and stuff like that, and even Bruno, which recently we had a falling out because Bruno asked me to wait 35 to 40 days, even though he had told the state that we had the exculpatory evidence, the tape recordings, proving that I was innocent. Bruno wanted the biggest win of his life in court. And I suffered another 40 days of torture in one man cell number 3 because of that. But since Bruno was the only guy that wasn't Norbert Mankiewicz, that fucking goddamn Jew piece of shit, fucking loser, sellout, Bruno appeared to be a straight-laced Catholic. You know, he was, anyway. So, at 4 minutes here, I'm going to start on the day of trial, which was November 16th, I think, of 1997. The guy who was about to do 50 years for methamphetamine production brought me my breakfast, and I told him, I said, we have the evidence. We've had the evidence for months. They refused to look at it, the state. They did refuse, because they were trying to kill me in that one-man cell before I ever got out. So, fuck you, America. All you crooked cop bastards. And I told that guy, I said, tell everybody, I've got the evidence. We're going to beat them. We're going to fuck them up. and he passed the word along. And on the first morning, we went through voir dire, and right there in the middle was an A&M professor wearing a kind of a pinkish, purplish shirt, who said he really didn't agree with that whole Waco thing, which I'd already witnessed from my own home, where they killed 86 women, children, etc. I made sure he got on my jury. I was in charge of jury selection, 100%. And that's what I do on every trial. I'm in charge of jury selection. And it turned out to be the usual 75 to 80% female, which females are, especially if there's a man charged with any sort of crime against a woman, females are just horrifically brutal, over the top, don't believe anything. But right in the middle there, I had a Texas A&M administrator and a Texas A&M professor that I knew I could disrupt that jury with. So on the afternoon of the first day after we finished voir dire, we seated the jury and the state began its presentation, in which several times I had to tell my attorney, Bruno Shimek, running objection, because they were bringing in Carlos Antero, who was testifying about a trial that had never taken place and would probably never take place and was totally prejudicial, etc., and etc. We just kept on. And so the first day, the state presented its evidence, which was nothing, including the felony aggravated perjury of Lonnie Stabler, the mayor of Bryan, and several other cops. So the next day we began, and by the time we got to lunch and we got to begin to present our case, which I already told that guy that brings me my breakfast, we've got him, it's going to happen. And the guys that were in lockup, I want to tell you this because it's better than any movie I've ever seen. It's more dramatic. It was fucking awesome. I told them that we were going to win, which people who are in jail, which if you don't know it, 10% of the people that are in jail are absolutely innocent of the charge that they're levied against them. And I've pushed for people to, take it to trial and prove their innocence, and most of them still crumble because they're black or Hispanic. They've got a white attorney, Anglo attorney, and they con them into copping a plea, and that's bullshit. But on the second day, something awesome happened. After my breakfast guy brought me breakfast, I told him, tell him, we're going to win. I've got the evidence. It's coming up today. And he passed it on even to the people in lockup, which if you people don't understand what lockup is, lockup means that you have no bed, you have no clothes, you have only a bare floor, no blanket, they even give your food to you like on paper, and you have no tray, you have no spoon, no fork, no nothing, and you're just completely naked up in lockup, which is above the big Brazos County. I don't know how to describe it. It's like one of those star chambers, like above the witness stand.